do you feel about you? Would you want you for a best friend? Or would you fall apart? Being able to look yourself in the mirror and go, I like you. You're a good person, and I'd like you to be my best friend.
Hello, and welcome to the PSI Podcast, a podcast for you to explore where a life lived with purpose meets transformation. Each week, we will bring you powerful insights, inspiring stories, and real-world tools for you to break through your limitations, unlock your potential, and live the life you were meant to. I'm your host, Tim Bowen.
And I am your co-host, Mackenzie O'Kelly. For more than 50 years, PSI Seminars and PSI World have helped thousands of people create the life they deserve to live. And now, it's your turn.
Welcome, everyone, to the PSI Podcast. We're super excited for the relaunch of the PSI Podcast. And we are luckily in the presence of greatness today with the co-founder of PSI Seminars and PSI World, Jane C. Willhite herself. We are just thrilled. Mackenzie and I are looking forward to this in-depth conversation. Jane is joined by Jenessa Willhite Meyers, and we're just going to have a great conversation. So thanks for joining us. Jane, thank you for joining us. Is there anything you want to say to the folks listening in?
I miss you all. I haven't been doing the classes myself lately, and I miss it. I miss seeing the grads.
Yeah. And so the beautiful thing about the podcast here with PSI is that this gets listened to and shared by both graduates of seminars within PSI and also people that maybe have never heard of us before. So, Jane has been a pioneer in this industry. We're so lucky to have her. I know that speaking for myself, and Mackenzie, you can jump in here, over the years that I have been blessed to get to know you, Jane, I'm just so grateful for you, not only for this vehicle that you helped create, but for you as a person as well.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, and I've known you as long as I have a memory. And so you've been a constant in my life, and I am endlessly grateful for your heart and how much you care for everyone, the people around you, the graduates, their stories, and I'm honored to know you.
You got to be one of my grandkids to me.
It feels like it.
So, PSI has been around since 1973. At the time we're recording this, that's, 53 years. So it just speaks to not only the power of the work, but really like your commitment, Jane, and your commitment to having powerful people in your presence, that have propelled PSI World and PSI Seminars through the years. And so thank you again for joining us. We've got some questions for you that I hope you will give us some incredible answers to, all about kind of where we've been and where we're going. All right, so something that I want to know, Jane, is when you and Tom, your late husband, Tom Willhite, started PSI, what was the problem you were really trying to solve?
When I first met him, he was a very quiet man. He didn't speak a lot. And then I happened to go in, I think the second month that we were dating, I happened to go into a place where he was working and he was lecturing. And I couldn't believe that this man is the man that I've been with for the last 2 months. I couldn't believe it. I mean, later on, years later, I used to kid him, and when people say, well, Tom, you don't talk much. And I used to say, put a quarter in his mouth, he'll talk. Tom was one of the most sensitive, brilliant speakers I had ever heard. When he talked to people, he just got into their souls. Everything that he was speaking about, they wanted. They wanted more of him. They wanted more of his ideas. They wanted more of everything that he said. They couldn't stop. They didn't get enough of him. So I said, let's start doing seminars. You, get out there. Instead of 10 people, let's get 100. Because you're fantastic, Tom. You're different than anything I have ever heard. So we joined up with a man by the name of Alexander Everett. He was doing seminars, but they were mostly woo-woo, woo-woo. They weren't, hello, today, see your kids, change your kids, get into a relationship that works. So it was a good combination. And Alexander Everett was one of the first people to go into what they called the human potential. That's how it all started. I thought he was going to change the world.
All right, so Jane, one of the pillars of PSI Seminars is to think is to create. And so what do you feel that actually looks like in someone's everyday life? Like, how do we do that every single day?
Well, to think is create. We do it every minute of every day, every second of every day. We think is to create. My husband used to say that we wake up in the morning, we tear our right arm out of our socket, and then we beat ourselves up all day long. We could put our feet on the floor when we wake up and we go, oh, God, I am so stupid. I was supposed to be up an hour ago. I was going to work out. Geez, why can't I just get it together? And then you hobble into the bathroom, you look in the mirror, you go, oh, my God, you're ugly. Oh, my God, you are so ugly. So we talk to ourselves horribly. To think is to create is to, when we think, we say, is to see us beautiful. When we find that we are putting ourselves down or the arm is hitting and you can see the blood everywhere, we need to stop at that moment, change it, see the different picture. Most people, when we talk about to think is to create, is really doing it the wrong way. To think is to create is when you want the Mercedes convertible, like I did when I was 12. You go to a Mercedes dealer. You sit in the car that you want, and they let you. And then you have a picture. You take a picture with your phone. Take a picture of you in the car, the color that you want, everything that you want. So when you think about the Mercedes, you don't see the Mercedes on the floor of the auto place. You see you sitting in that Mercedes. You see you driving that Mercedes. You see you owning that Mercedes. And I don't care if you're 8 years old. I was 12 when I was going to the movies with a couple of my friends. I was young, and I saw this silver Mercedes convertible. We passed the Mercedes dealer, and I said, I got to go in there. And I went in there, I'm just a kid. And I walked in, I said, can I sit in that? And they said, absolutely. So I went over. Now, I didn't have a cell phone, so we couldn't take a picture, but I sat in it. And as I was sitting, I went, I own this. I drive this. This is my car. So I was able to think about, every time I thought about that Mercedes, I wanted that Mercedes. Now, it took me a while. I had a couple Chevys before I got a Mercedes convertible. But I remember Tom and I had just arrived in the morning at the office, and we were getting out of the car, and guess what? A silver CLK, small little Mercedes convertible, drove by, parked 3 cars away with a for sale sign on it.
That's beautiful.
Yes. Make me happy. Go buy that for me. And I had my first Mercedes convertible. But I had it when I was 12. I owned it when I was 12.
You knew it would be yours.
Thing you gotta own. You can't just see the Mercedes out in the clouds someplace. You gotta own it. If you want a great relationship with your husband, you have to own it. own it. You have to see it. You have to see you kissing and hugging and being so happy. And even when he's a jerk, you're going, I love this jerk because he's my jerk. Everything that you want, you're going to sit down and see yourself owning that. See the money. See yourself with money everywhere. I do a lecture in the women's class that's kind of like that, but a little different. And that is when you really dislike somebody. How about the girl that stole your husband or stole your boyfriend? Can we? Okay. So there she is walking down the street, this girl that you just want to strangle. What we're going to do is we're going to put her in that silver Mercedes convertible. Then you're going to fill it with money and presents and everything. So she drives away really happy. She also takes your husband, but she drives it. But you don't have that anger, that resentment it'll kill you. I think it's one of the reasons at 86 I'm still okay. It's because long time ago, you can't hold anything. You can't hold anything like that. Because it becomes, to think is to create. You create things in your life that will bring the anger out. So, start seeing, make a list of everything that you want, and then sit for an hour or 2 hours or 5 hours and put yourself owning that picture, that you're living in that house, that you have that job, that you have that relationship, that you have that vacation. Just see yourself owning it all. Then you tell God, this is what I want. And he understands it because that's the picture you send him. You just don't send him a picture of a Mercedes. Your superpower doesn't know what that means. But if you send him a picture of you sitting in the Mercedes, yay, he goes, oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, it makes me think of kind of an example or a metaphor that we've heard time and time again, right? Like, think about our minds as a farm or a garden, right? So if we plant corn in our garden, what grows? Corn. We plant wheat in our garden, what grows? Wheat. We plant nothing in our mind, what grows? Weeds, right? And it just goes back to what you're saying, is that we are always in to think is to create, right? It's not necessarily something that we are consciously doing. It's always happening.
Every second of every day we're thinking. And most of the time, as Tom said, we're beating ourselves up. We're telling the superpower that I'm not good enough. We're telling the superpower that I don't deserve it. We're not saying, hey, look at me in the Mercedes. And we're not talking about automobiles.
So the next question is, given that to think is to create is one of the pillars of PSI Seminars, and we hear all about it in the basic, what is one thing you wish everyone knew about the PSI Basic Seminar and why they would want to attend?
I can guarantee that the Basic Seminar will make you stronger. Stronger. Stronger for you. You're going to become your best friend. You're going to become your advocate. Instead of you out there, you're here. And you become stronger because you start living what you're talking about. You start aligning with what you want. You start aligning with you being the super great guy, great girl that you are. You start seeing that person You start seeing the woman that's awesome. You start seeing the man who's powerful and strong and so sweet. You start seeing you differently. I can guarantee it. You will see yourself differently. You're going to get on your team. That almost makes me... See, you've been on somebody else's team, looking at you, putting you down. After the basic, you're going to get on your team and see how wonderful you really are. And how wonderful you could be and your life could be. That's the big one.
That's beautiful.
Jane, everyone is curious, wants to know, they're excited. What is on the horizon for PSI Seminars in 2026?
More of the same. More of the same. What we've been doing for over 50 years works. And it works in 1973, and it works now. We had problems in 73. We have problems right now. But there are ways to combat those problems. There's ways to make those problems go away. And it's all in the basic. And the basic hasn't changed much in 53 years. It works. I mean, without any help, any advertising, we have stayed in business for 53 years. We have almost 1 million graduates all over the world. It works. I'm not changing it. The basic works. We have new music. And maybe a few jokes that are different. But the basic works. And I don't want to give you anything else. I want to give you something that I know that works.
That's great. It's a true testament. And so, finally, Jane, what is one thing that you hope for people who are tuning into the podcast? What is something that you want people to gain from this podcast as we relaunch?
I would hope that from this podcast, you will take a minute to check on what you believe is important in your life. Is honesty important? For you to be a stand-up person? Is that important? For you to believe in yourself? Is that important? If you want to be a best friend, will you put that person before you? I had a best friend. Her name was Shirley Hunt. She left us in 21. I miss her every single day. Wow, her values. She never lied. She never cheated. She was a best friend to where she put herself down rather than hurt me. God, I wish everybody had a best friend like that. But let's go back to you. How do you feel about you? Would you want you for a best friend? Or would you fall apart and run? Being able to look yourself in the mirror and go, I like you. You're a good person. You're a really good person. And I'd like you to be my best friend. Somebody could lean on. Somebody you could talk to about anything. I have a best friend. She happens to be my daughter. I can't tell you how proud I am of her. She's really one of the nicest people I have ever met in my life. And I'm not just saying that. Anybody that knows her would agree with me. She's the kindest, sweetest, nicest, smartest girl I've ever, person, not girl, person that I have ever met. Her name is Janessa. She happens to have a different last name. I'm not happy about that. I wish she'd kept Willhite instead of Meyers, but my daughter is the light of my life. You know, she took over PSI. She really did. She's working every day at it. I don't know if I kind of like that because I miss her, but she's doing a phenomenal job. She really is. And I get to talk to her every day. She lives a mile away, so I get to see her a lot. And I get to see my grandkids a lot. And PSI's doing real good. And will continue to do good. Because that's what I am committed to. That's what Janessa is committed to. That is what you, Tim, are committed to. That is what you, Mackenzie, are committed to. And every single person that works with, not for, with the company, there's thousands of people that love PSI and want to put PSI, first. They want everybody they know to do PSI because it changes people's lives. That's why we have been in business for 53 years and are still going strong. 53 years with no advertising. Come on. That's pretty good.
That's true. 53 years without advertising. But hey, we're looking at some Facebook ads right now. So if you see us out there, we're coming at you.
Yeah. I'm excited. I want to see the Facebook ads, although I can't even work Facebook anymore. But I'll be looking for our ads. Please look for our ads. There might be something interesting.
PSI Seminars is growing. We're going strong. It's been 53 years, and we are hoping for many, many more. And if you want to get more involved with PSI Seminars, we're putting basics in all kinds of different cities. We're doing projects in many, many cities. Projects for at-risk kids. We're overseas building schools and other projects with PSI World. So come get involved with PSI World and PSI Seminars. It's a wonderful community, and we would love you to join us.
So, Janessa, question for you. So, what is one of the biggest things that you have learned in the life of PSI Seminars?
I think I've learned many, many things over the course of being so involved with personal growth throughout my life. And what I've tried to teach my children, what I try to remember every day when I wake up, is that living today, what we teach in the basic first day, last day. Tomorrow is not promised. Live today, live in the now, all the jargon we can have, but it comes down and it boils down to every moment is precious. Every interaction with my children, treat it like the last, treat it like the first, and move forward together with no regrets, no arguments about what happened yesterday, and especially difficult as a mother, as a wife, as an employer, all of those things. There is anger and frustration that clouds everybody's judgment. But what I learned in the basic was that none of that matters. It really is just perception. The only thing that I can control, the only thing that matters is what I do at this precise moment. How I interact with everyone around me and how they are loved and cared for by me in this moment.
So, Janessa, that was wonderful what you just said about your experience with PSI Seminars. And you mentioned PSI World, right? Earlier, you were talking about projects. So tell us about the vision of PSI World, what PSI World is, and how people can get involved.
The PSI World is a nonprofit, and our vision is the same that PSI has lived for 53 years. World peace, one mind at a time. And we do that in many, many ways through the network of our graduates. So everyone who takes the basic is part of our PSI family, and we support each other in all of our dreams and visions and goals. And that varies from going to soup kitchens together, standing on corners with signs for free hugs, or going out across the world starting schools, bringing wells to Africa, and all kinds of things. We've done a program for at-risk youth for many, many years, and it's now international as well, where he had started in the prisons in Hawaii in 1974. We've gone back into the prisons as well in Hawaii again this year. So the vision of PSI World, world peace, one mind at a time, however that looks, we support everyone and all of our graduates in creating more peace in the world and more peace in their lives.
Mic drop again.
Ooh, yeah, you guys are just, mics are flying.
Well, Jane, thank you so much. Janessa, thank you very much. Mackenzie, we're going to have so much fun. You know, we are relaunching the PSI podcast. If you don't know, we've got years worth of what used to be monthly podcast episodes that people can still listen to. They're still accessible. And we are bringing our modern spin. So be sure to join us every week. You'll be hearing with me and Mackenzie and amazing speakers and presenters from kind of the PSI realm. They're going to sometimes be instructors, sometimes be graduates, sometimes be just anybody who fits the mold of what people are interested in these days and how it relates to personal growth and how we can all continue to grow together. Again, bringing it back, like Janessa said, world peace, one mind at a time. So we look forward to seeing you.
We're so excited.
I am so excited about the podcast coming back. It has been something that our graduates have asked for many, many years. At one point, we were doing podcasts every single month religiously, and they were an amazing community event. And the amount of continual learning we did together just helped everyone grow and commit every single month. So I'm really excited the podcast is coming back and people can share it. And I am so, so excited for Mackenzie and Tim to host it and lead us through all of the amazing places that we can go and learn and thrive together.
Amazing. It's going to be a blast.
So excited for this relaunch. Thank you guys.
God bless.
Thank you for joining us today for the PSI podcast.
If today's conversation sparks something for you, don't let it stop here. Share this episode with someone who's ready for their next breakthrough, and be sure to subscribe so you never miss an opportunity to grow. I'm Tim Bowen.
And I'm Mackenzie O'Kelly. Until next time.